We welcome viewers to another episode of Voice of Vichar on Goan Vichar. Today we have with us one of the national spokesperson of TMC, and today we are talking to him right now here at International Centre Goa, and his name is Saket Gokhale. You might have seen him in various instances at various levels, in various press conferences, various debates on national TV. And today he is here with us, and let's discuss something more inclined towards Goa with Saket Gokhale. So, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
We're very privileged to have you today talking to us. It's out of our busy schedules.
My pleasure entirely.
Okay. So basically in Goa, TMC came at the end and it came with a blast. And when I say blast, it means a lot of hoardings, a lot of posters everywhere. It was a tsunami of posters everywhere. How has things been from that point of time when you all made an entry in Goa till today?
So I think the time that we came around is when most parties also started prepping for the elections. This was the start of our future plan for Goa. Like we tell people that, this is not for one election. We are here for the long run. We are here to stay in Goa. So for us, it was an initial, we needed a little bit of an uptake when we came in. If you look at all the state elections that have happened, okay, while the BJP might not have gotten a majority, Bengal was the one which shocked all of India with the way Mamta Didi led the party to a thumping victory across India. So people who were frustrated with the BJP, people who have been, against the BJP and their policies, people in literally every corner of India celebrated. But the important point is that when we came into Goa, okay, the flavor has to be local. The leadership eventually that runs Goa is going to be local. The idea is Goa will be run by Goans. That's why our slogan also is Goanchi Your Vichar.
Yeah. Okay. In between, you said that Bengal has shocked India with the win with BJP and all those things. But post-poll violence that happened in Bengal, that also shocked a lot of Indians.
Look, I'll
what do
tell
you
you
have to say about
honestly,
it?
if anyone has been following Bengal for many years, and the problem that today happens is, Delhi media is focused, the Delhi and Noida media is very insular. They're focused, within, they're looking at the picture that they're getting from different people also sitting in Delhi.
Okay.
But post-poll violence, unfortunately, because of years and decades of communist rule, post-poll violence very sadly has been a feature of Bengal right from the beginning. But if you know that right from the announcement, the notification of elections, which happened in Goa 2 days ago, from that point until the swearing in of the new assembly, the entire state machinery, be it the police, be it the civil service, right up to the municipal level, they're all on deputation to the election commission. Number two is that one of the highest deployments of the Central Armed Police Forces, so if you look at the BSF, CRPF, CISF, was done during the Bengal elections by the Union government. But the question is, between the period of 2nd to the 5th, what were the central forces doing and what was the election commission doing? There was also a lot of fake news being circulated at that time. So you had a lot of disinformation happening at that point. Rumors trigger a mob. Mobs go out. It wasn't just, a TMC mob or a BJP mob. Within the BJP also there are two different factions. One that was dissatisfied and they went out and participated in the violence.
Okay. So basically of all this that you're speaking, I can just sum it up by saying that when all this post-violence was happening in Bengal, all the forces were under the control of ECI. That's what you're trying to say.
And also the Union government. The Central Armed Forces under the Union government. And West Bengal state machinery was under the elections.
Okay. Having said that in not a very brief manner that we spoke, but I got the whole idea and maybe the viewers also got the whole idea what was happening in Bengal at that point of time. We'll come back to Goa, right? In Goa, TMC has promised a lot of schemes, a lot of things to the Goans. Right?
3 to be precise.
Okay. But
I'm glad it sounds like a lot. Which means
because the magnitude on which it's shown on posters and everywhere, it looks like a lot, right? So basically, most of the schemes are not there in Bengal for the Bengalis. In Goa, all the schemes is to lure the crowd in Goa because does TMC feel people in Goa very easy to take on?
Not necessarily. In fact, let me correct you on that one. The schemes that we promised here, they're all present in one form or the other in West Bengal. Now the thing is, you can't copy paste different schemes in different places. Okay, you can't take something that works for one state and copy paste that, like Mr. Kejriwal does. In Delhi, we will give so much stipend, 5,000 to unemployed youth. He's promising the same year. He's promising pilgrimages in Delhi. He's promising the same year. You can't use one template. Goa is different from Bengal. Goa is different from any other state. And that is something we have to remember and respect.
Okay.
So the schemes that we have announced in Goa are particularly, after a lot of research, after speaking to a lot of organizations, a mining policy, for instance, has been developed. It has endorsement from the Goa Foundation. These are people who've been working on that issue since decades.
Okay.
Mr. Claude Alvarez has been working on the issue of mining in the state for decades. So, of course, you will see a lot of schemes in Goa which might not be there in West Bengal. So, today, for example, the land, that the title and ownership scheme we announced.
Yes.
Property laws are very different here than there in West Bengal. The issues are not going to be similar.
Correct.
And that is, in fact, the precise. So it's not that, people in Goa are easy to lower. It's, in fact, the problem that today we've gotten so centralized under the BJP that, sitting in Delhi with a remote control, they want to govern every state. All problems are localized and all problems have to be seen through the local spectrum.
Talking about today's scheme that you launched today, the title of ownership of land. When you say that you're going to give the right of that particular property, the landlord is person A, right? Person B has his house over there. He's not owning the land, but he is staying in that house. Now they have built multiple houses as tenants on the landlord's property. Now today this law which is coming in, it's quite similar to the Bhumiputra
It's actually not. No.
No, let me. Okay. We can answer that, but let's finish this question that I'm asking you. That the landlord is in trouble.
Tell me how he's in trouble.
Because he's losing the land, right? He's losing his land. So he's in trouble. He's not getting anything. What is he getting out of it?
See, here's the thing. If you look at the Fifth Amendment, which was ratified in 1976 and then later on upheld by the Supreme Court in 1990, the amendment clearly says that a tiller, after having spent an X number of years, will not be dispossessed of the property.
Okay.
Now, today, when you say a parcel of land, someone that's been staying there, say 1976, before 1976.
That's the thing that I'll have given. Yes.
When you talk about the sanad, which doesn't exist, but originally there is still one inhabitant. Okay, there is still one person.
Yeah.
Now, today, let's say it might have been somebody's father. Okay. Now, in inheritance, he might have given it to 10 people. But the problem is, initially, he didn't own the land to begin with.
Yeah.
And now, if they have, let's say, 500 square feet of land there. Now, how they divide it is their business.
Correct.
That is up to them. Now, tomorrow, if they want to inherit it to their children, once you get the title deed, once the property is regularized, now then they can do a mutation to that property, in the 712 register.
Correct.
And then they can, if they decide to sell it to somebody, transfer the deed to somebody.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a good example. I was in Vasco da Gama campaigning about 3 days ago.
Okay.
Now, there are about 4,000 houses, situated very close to the port.
Okay.
Now, suddenly the Port Trust has come up with a new survey map where they say that the land where all these 4,000 are located is actually Port Trust land.
Okay.
Now, out of those 4,000 families, almost 3,000 do not have what you call a sanad or a title ownership to their property. So, they have tried different ways. Some have shown their birth certificates. The home births were a big thing. So, some have shown their birth certificates saying, look, I was born here 40 years ago, etc. But what do the others do? So, the second thing also, as we've clearly mentioned, is that it's not snatching away of land. We are not communists. We're just going to snatch away the land and give it. The landlords will be duly compensated by the state for the land that is
So
being
this is a bigger burden to the exchequer?
It's not, because if you look at the total burden, or rather burden, I would say the total expenditure. People are not a burden. It's their money at the end of it.
It's their money being spent by the government. So
on them. So I wouldn't count it as a burden. This is the job of the government. It's very funny. I hear the Delhi government a lot of times saying that, we have a surplus budget and, clapping about it. You don't have a surplus budget. You're not a savings bank. You're the government. When you have a surplus budget, it means you're collecting more taxes than you're spending on people. So the total outlay for this, I would say, is about 150 crores. Which, if you look at the overall number, comes to about 4%, 3.54% of the total budget. We're looking at 40,000 households whose cases have been stuck with the Mamlatdar or in different courts of law. Many of them don't have the recourse. We're talking about 60% of the population. Now, to provide housing, legal housing, to 60% of the population, I think 4% of the budget is peanuts when you compare to the benefits that come out of it.
But there is already in Goa, the Munkar Act, which is existing. You get a 200 square meters of land. So, why a new law, why a new scheme, why a new act, when we already have the Munkar Act?
We're not saying a new act. We're saying, see, the problem is the law exists on paper. It's not being implemented. we are not saying, we are not talking about creating a new law or nothing. We are going by the Fifth Amendment.
Okay.
We are going by the Fifth Amendment, which was notified in the official gazette in 1976, upheld by the Supreme Court in 1990. All we are saying is successive governments did not implement what was there.
Okay. Okay. On the same lines, we'll go forward and talk about the structure of TMC.
Right.
Now, every party we see, they have a general secretary, they have a president in the state.
Right.
What was the structure of TMC Goa, in Goa?
Look, in terms of structure, we have a Goa state in charge right now, a desk in charge.
Who is that?
Goa Moitra.
Okay.
We have a co in charge, Sushmita Dev.
Okay.
We have, see, our priority first was like I told you, when we came in, was identifying the right leaders, the right candidates. You know, we're a party, when we came into Goa, is when people started joining the party. Okay. Now that the code of conduct has been, you know, the elections have been notified, in the next few days you will see a state committee coming into action. But at the same time, let me also tell you that at the grassroots level, where it's more important, whoever our candidate faces, they've already created the community, their committees at the booth level.
Yeah.
Because see, what matters is the booth level today. The lists, electoral lists go to the booth managers.
Absolutely, Mr. But my question is more specifically, like Mova Moitra, yourself, Derek O'Brien, they are all the central team that has come to Goa. But I wanted to know more specifically, who are the Goan faces who will be seen as a president or a general secretary,
Look,
or even the various candidates?
I can't specifically name until the until the leadership finalizes the committee. But today we have Reginaldo Bab, we have Mr. Yatish Naik, we have Churchillwa, we have Mr. Kiran Kandolkar. So it's not that we don't have. I mean, today if you looked on stage, I mean, 80% of the people on stage were the Goan leadership. You know, there was one or two of us. I mean, I wasn't even on stage early. I, was invited to come and sit late. We stay in the background. Okay, so we have a Goan leadership. Now, how to structure that leadership?
Okay.
Is something that you will see happening in the next couple of days.
Okay, done. I think with that, your team wants you back.
Okay.
I think we'll wind it up over here. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for giving us your time out of the busy schedule of the IPEC team that is.
I hope I was able to address some of your queries at least.
Definitely. It was nice meeting you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks.